Assalamu alaikum. Hello dear students. Welcome all of you in today's class. Today with you I am Jannatul Firdaus, lecturer, Department of English, Milestone College. Dear students, in this picture, what can you see? Yes dear, the person is lying down. He is saying that I am feeling ill. On the other hand, in another picture, what can you see? The person is talking over phone. He is saying, Joy said that he was feeling ill. So dear students, what can you guess from these two pictures? What might be the topic in today's class? Yes dear students, you have guessed it right. In today's class, I am going to teach you the very important topic from English second paper, and that is narration. First of all, I will discuss about basic rules of narration, and later on you will be able to understand with the whole 5 sentences for passage narration. That means in today's lesson I will be talking all about direct speech and indirect speech. So dear students, let's get started. For converting sentences from direct speech to indirect speech in a passage, we should focus on some steps. First of all, we should know what is reporting verb and reported speech. After that, we have to have clear conception about sentence types. That means we should know 5 kinds of sentences. Later on, we should have knowledge about changing tense. Dear students, after that also you have to have proper conception about changing persons, and lastly you have to have clear idea about adverb of time and place. Now let's discuss what is reporting verb and reported speech. Reporting verb. When we tell someone what another person said, we use the words tell, said, ask, etc. That means reporting verb reflects the tone and the intention of a speaker. For example, Johnny said to me, I wrote a letter. Here the word said is called reporting verb. Now move on for reported speech. The sentence which reports something that was said. And in another way, we can say it is also used to communicate that anybody has said. From the example, Johnny said to me, I wrote a letter. Here, the statement I wrote a letter, it is a direct dialogue of Johnny. So we can call it reported speech. Now dear students, let's discuss in details for sentence types. We know that sentences can be classified into 5 categories. First of all, assertive sentence. So what is assertive sentence? Assertive sentence is a statement that affirms and negates an action, an event, or a happening. And this type of sentence ends with a full stop. For example, Rafi said to me, I have bought book from here. So here within inverted comma, what the sentence we find, this is called assertive sentence because it's one kind of statement. After that, interrogative sentence. So what is interrogative sentence? Interrogative sentence is a direct question. An interrogation mark is put at the end of the sentence. For example, he said to me, will you take tea? So from the sentence we find an interrogation mark and we can call it interrogative sentence. After that, imperative sentence. Dear students, imperative sentence always suggests expression of request, advice, order, or something else. And in imperative sentence, always the subject you will be there, but it remains unstarted. For example, always speak the truth. He said to me, always speak the truth. Here the statement has been started with verb and we can call it imperative sentence. After that, optative sentence. So what is optative sentence, dear students? Optative sentence expresses a wish, a prayer and a blessings. And when we find the optative sentence, for example, what will be the example? Father said, "May you live happily forever." So from the sentence we find an expression of wish. So we can call it optative sentence. Last of all, exclamatory sentence. Dear students, from this type of sentence you will find strong and sudden feeling or emotion of attention. And in this type of sentence there is an exclamation mark after its exclaimed words. For example, "Bravo, you have done well." So here you can see after the word bravo you will find an exclamation mark, and the sentence you can call it exclamatory sentence. Now let's know about the changes of tense. Dear students, for direct speech, if you have present simple and present continuous, you can write it into past simple and past continuous. If you have present perfect, you can write it into past perfect. If you have past simple, you can write it past perfect. And if you have past continuous, you can write it into past perfect continuous. But if you have past perfect for direct speech, it will remain unchanged. So dear students, in case of will, what will you write for indirect speech? You will write would. In case of can, you can write it could. In case of may, you can write it might. Now let's have a look for the changing of personal pronoun and how is it going to be changed according to the rule of sun. Dear students, I am making you understand properly. If the subject in quoted words is in first person, then it will change according to the subject of reporting verb. If the subject of quoted words is in second person, it will change according to the object of reporting verb. But if the subject of quoted words is in third person, it will remain unchanged. So dear students, let's have a look in brief about personal pronoun. In direct speech, if you find I, it will change it into he or she. If you find me, it will change it into him or her. If you find my, you can change it into his or her. If you find we, you can write it into they. If you find us, you can write them. And if you find our, you can write their. For example, Anil said to Rima, "I am reading." So, in indirect speech, what will be the answer? The answer will be Anil told Rima that he was reading. So, you can see from direct speech you will find the first person and it has been changed into third person, that is he. You have already learned couple of grammatical rules for narration. So the rule which I want to mention now is it is very necessary to know. Yes, dear students, at the time of changing sentences from direct speech into indirect speech, instead of comma, linkers have been replaced. So according to the 5 kinds of sentences, now we will see how the linkers have been replaced. So for the first sentence, that is assertive sentence, you can write that. For interrogative sentence, if you find yes no answer from the question, you can write if or whether. But if you find WH question, you can write WH word. For imperative sentence, you can write to. For objective sentence, you can write that. And after that, for exclamatory sentence, you can also write that. Now come for the last rule which I want to discuss. Changing adverb of time and place. So dear students, in direct speech, if you find the adverb today, you have to write that day. If you find this, you can write those. If you find now, you can write then. If you find here, you can write there. For direct speech, if you find tomorrow, you can write the following day or the next day. And lastly, if you find yesterday, you can write the previous day and the day before. Here we go for key features of passage narration. Dear students, number 1, read the given passage. Number 2, identify who is speaker and who is listener, and find out the sentence types. Dear students, sometimes we get sentences where reporting verb is not always mentioned. In that case, you have to find out who is speaker and who is listener. Actually, you have to find it out. For the second rule, if you find reporting verb in the middle or in the end of the direct speech, you have to bring it in front of the indirect speech. And rule number 3, if you find same two types of sentences, you can write added or and. But for same types, three sentences, you can write further added or also added. Rule number 4. If you find the word yes within inverted comma, you can write replied in the affirmative. Or if you find the word no within inverted comma, you can write replied in the negative. And if you find yes sir within inverted comma, you can write respectfully replied in the affirmative that. And if you find no sir within inverted comma, you can also write respectfully replied in the negative that. And after that, if you find the word thank you, you can write he thanked me. And after that, if you find the word so, you can write that is why. So dear students, now for your better understanding, I will show you some more examples for sentence narration and passage narration with some exercise.
Students, after reading some rules on narration, you need to shift your focus more and more on the practice. So let's understand with some more examples. In example 1, the sentence is Priya said to Rehan, I have a dental appointment this evening. Students, at first we should read the whole sentence to identify the speaker and the listener. Here, from this sentence, you can easily guess or you can easily understand Priya is the speaker here and the listener is Rehan. Now, how to convert this sentence in indirect speech? Here, we need to follow 3 steps for changing sentence. You know that according to reported speech, reporting verb will be changed. So the answer is Priya told Rehan that she had a dental appointment that evening. Now, what are the changes? You can see within inverted comma, the first person I has become she and the verb have has been changed into had and the time expression this evening has been changed into that evening. Now come for example 2. You look a little bit like my mother, Jerry said to the authoress, especially in the dark by the fire. So, dear students, when a reporting verb is placed in the middle or in the last, you have to bring it in front of indirect speech. Here in this sentence you can see the reporting verb said is placed between the two sentences. So the answer is Jerry told the authoress that she looked a little bit like his mother, especially in the dark by the fire. Now in example 3. 30 taka, the salesman said to me. So within inverted comma, here is only a message or information. It's not the complete sentence. So sometimes reported speech doesn't have complete sentence. In those cases, that means in indirect speech, you have to follow the speaker's speech to get the full meaning. Now the answer is, the salesman told me that it was 30 taka. Now it covers the full meaning. In example 4, what are you doing now? I am writing an article. So have you found any speaker or listener here? No, dear students. Often reported speech doesn't mention speaker or the listener. In these cases, you have to mention the speaker and the listener while transforming it into indirect speech. So here is the answer. The speaker asked the listener what he was doing. Then the listener replied that he was writing an article. Now in example 5. Help me, he cried. Sometimes reported speech has the exact expression. The reporting verb in indirect speech in that case will be unchanged. So the answer is, he cried to help him. Students, let's move on to solve the board question for passage narration. Here is the question. Rewrite the following passage, changing the form of speech. Ruma, have you done your English lesson today? Asked the teacher. Yes, sir, I have, but I haven't understood some grammatical points, replied Ruma. Where is the problem? Said the teacher. Let us try again. So, by reading the whole passage, you can easily understand here the speaker is the teacher and listener is Ruma. Now, what are the changes? First of all, let's tell the answer. The teacher asked Ruma if she had done her English lesson that day. Here you can see the second person you has become she and the verb have has been changed into had and the time expression today has been changed into that day. Yes, sir, I have, but I haven't understood some grammatical points. So this is the reply of Ruma. Now in indirect speech, what will be the answer? So the answer will be, Ruma respectfully replied in the affirmative and said that she had done it, but she hadn't understood some grammatical points. So here you can also see in indirect speech you have to write respectfully replied in the affirmative, and that will be used instead of yes sir. And same as the first person has become here she and the verb have has been changed into had. Now the next sentence. Where is the problem? Said the teacher. So within inverted comma, the sentence is certainly in interrogative form and it has been started with WH question. So in indirect speech, instead of comma, you have to write WH word. Now the answer is, the teacher asked her where the problem was. Last sentence. Let us try again. Who is the speaker for this sentence? Yes, dear students, the speaker is the teacher. And you know that when the sentence starts with let, according to reported speech, for reporting verb, there will be used proposed to. So the answer will be, he proposed to her that they should try again. Now let's check the answer. The teacher asked Ruma if she had done her English lesson that day. Ruma respectfully replied in the affirmative and said that she had done it, but she hadn't understood some grammatical points. The teacher asked her where the problem was. He proposed to her that they should try again. Now come for another question. Change the narrative style of the following text. The stranger said to the boy, "Can you tell me the way to the nearest hotel?" "Yes, sir, I can." "Do you want a residential one in which you can spend the night?" said the boy. "I do not want to stay there, but I only want a meal," replied the man. So, same as by reading the whole passage, you can easily understand here the speaker is the stranger and the listener is the boy. And you know that according to reported speech, reporting verb will be changed. So, what will be the answer? The stranger asked the boy if he could tell him the way to the nearest hotel. Here you can see the pronoun you has become he and the modal verb can has been changed into could. The next sentence. "Yes, sir, I can. Do you want a residential one in which you can spend the night?" So this is the question of the boy to the stranger. So the answer is, the boy respectfully replied in the affirmative and said that he could. Then he asked the stranger if he wanted a residential one in which he could spend the night. So you can see in indirect speech, instead of yes sir, there respectfully replied in the affirmative has been used, and the first person I has become he, and the modal verb can has been changed into could. Now the last sentence, "I do not want to stay there, but I only want a meal." So this is the reply of the man, and within inverted comma the sentence is in assertive sentence. So the answer is, the man replied that he did not want to stay there, but he only wanted a meal. Now here you can see the first person I has become he, and the verb, negative verb, do not has been changed into did not. Now let's check the answer again. The stranger asked the boy if he could tell him the way to the nearest hotel. Dear students, here within bracket the letter S refers to the stranger. The boy respectfully replied in the affirmative and said that he could. Then he asked the stranger if he wanted a residential one in which he could spend the night. Here also you can see within bracket this S, the letter S also refers to the stranger. The man replied that he did not want to stay there, but he only wanted a meal.
Dear students, that's all for our today's class. Thank you everyone for being with me. See you in next class. Till then, Allah Hafiz.